The following podcast is a W2M Network original production. Visit W2Mnet.com for all of our other great podcasts, plus news, reviews, articles, and opinions from the worlds of wrestling, video games, football, and entertainment.
Wrestling to the Max Smackdown Review.
We're so happy that you're our friend.
And this is a friendship that'll never, ever end.
Ever end. You know, the question's going to be is what brand does he officially land on? I mean, or is this going to be like one of those free agency floater situations for a while?
I mean, considering that they're, moving further and further away from the brand split, I have a feeling that he's going to be one of those guys that they just don't, like, they don't care at this point anyway, so why even bother putting him somewhere?
Well, also what I think, too, is I think that with the social media reactions for the Firefly Funhouse as well, that keeping them on both shows as well, so people that don't get to see it live on Mondays can watch it in a more digestible version on Tuesday nights, because God knows how difficult it is to sit through a full episode of Raw these days.
Oh, God. Don't remind me.
Wolf.
If you want to hear our reactions to Raw, you can listen to Harry's version on the Raw reaction and me on the Raw review here on W2N.
I was going to say, that reaction to Raw thing is trademarked, good sir. Yeah, myself, Tony Acero from 411 Mania, and Andrew Balaz over from thechairshot.com do the Raw reaction for the Chairshot Radio Network. Brandon and Cedric Cologne do the Raw review here for Wrestling to the Max. Speaking of which, this is the Wrestling to the Max SmackDown live review for May 7th, 2019. Good afternoon, evening, whenever you're listening, everybody. I'm Harry Broadhurst. And the other voice that you heard as we were discussing the Fireflies was that of Brandon Biskobing.
Hello.
Okay, so we're doing this review on Wednesday because one of us fell asleep last night. I won't say who, but I will say it wasn't Brandon.
To be fair, I mean, granted, we couldn't do it last week or on Sunday anyway, but you saved my ass from missing out on the kickoff this week because I passed out on the couch. So
yeah, well, I've had a very stressful week mentally that I finally got all taken care of.
That's good.
Yesterday, and that actually allowed me to sleep. So I got everything taken care of on Tuesday that I needed to get taken care of, and then I came home and watched Liverpool absolutely destroy FC Barcelona.
Yep, and meanwhile, Man U will not be in. They may make Europa.
Yeah, but on the plus side, if you guys win Europa, you could qualify for Champions 2021.
True.
You've done it before.
Yes, we have.
Meanwhile, Liverpool needs the miracle of all miracles from Brighton this Sunday, and then we have to handle business against Wolverhampton.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening.
I'm not worried about the Wolverhampton.
No. But the Brighton side, I don't think it's going to happen. Cardiff
got sent down with their loss last week. If Cardiff would have won, they would have pushed Brighton to need at least a tie to stay up. So once Cardiff lost last week, that pretty much screwed Liverpool as far as
because Brighton has really no reason to play.
As far as the Premiership goes, Liverpool's SOL. But we could be your 2019 Champions League winners.
Oh, God.
Oh, I feel so sorry for you if that happens.
Yeah, I know this. I'm already preparing myself for it.
It'll be Robert Taylor with the Chiefs, but worse.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, so when you say we actually get to the reason that we're here, let's talk about some stuff related to SmackDown. First, before we get to SmackDown, we like to do a little bit of a news and notes segment on this show.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Morgan is a mayor in Florida now.
What? Wait, what?
Hold on. Let me pull up the article on 411, because this is a real thing. This is not a rib. This is not a work. TNA and WWE alumnus Matt Morgan voted mayor of Longwood, Florida. Another wrestler has a mayoral office.
Go ahead.
And TNA alumnus Matt Morgan is now the mayor of Longwood, Florida. Orlando Weekly reports that Morgan, who was a city commissioner since 2017, was voted into the mayor's office by the city commissioners.
Can we?
Longwood is one.
Oh, okay. Go continue.
Last one. Longwood is one of the Florida cities who allow their commissioners to pick a new mayor each year, and Morgan was unanimously voted in.
Wow.
He is a former Impact World Tag Team Champion and had a run from 2002 to 2005 in the WWE. Also previously served Longwood as deputy mayor.
Can WWE sign him just for a one-off, just so we can get a mayor versus mayor match now?
I don't know about you, but I really don't want to sit through Matt Morgan versus Kane. Yikes.
It would be funny.
Don't get me wrong. Morgan improved in his time in TNA, but I don't know if he improved that much.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I agree, but hey, we have to sit through crap anyway with WWE. Why not put something that may actually be a little interesting?
Couple of things to come out of this for me. I believe that the commissioners voted him mayor because they look up to him. In fairness, everyone looks up to him.
Yes.
7 foot tall.
Yes. And you can't teach that.
I was waiting for that. I knew it was coming. Second, well, I guess wrestling does really prepare you for the politics life, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. I mean, you have to deal with enough of it within WWE as is.
I was going to say, you can read into that statement however you want. Third, so, you know I do fantasy booking.
Yes.
When I used Matt Morgan, I used him as a lawyer. It was a lawyer gimmick for Shane Douglas.
Oh, God. Well, you weren't wrong.
And his finishing move was called the Morganizer. I guess he needs one of those now. Because he also had a standing variation of the hold that was the Pocket Organizer. In all sincerity, hey, whatever floats your boat, Matt. If you want to go for politics, man. I met the guy inside of a Wendy's, and he was super cool, so I can't really complain too much.
There's a lot of former wrestlers who have become, who have held office. We can't forget about the Body.
He was the first of which to do so.
Yes. Mayor,
governor. Obviously, he went the furthest of any former wrestler as far as politics goes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, our current president ate a stunner at WrestleMania, but I don't know if any of us really want to consider him a wrestler.
No, he was not a wrestler. He was one of those special guests that you get at Mania.
Braden?
Yes.
Fake news. I actually did buy the show for like 6 weeks. And we had no commercials. It was huge. Okay, I'm done. Let's get into SmackDown, shall we?
Let's do it.
All right, our opening segment sees AJ Styles making the jump from Raw to SmackDown this week. I just turned into Vince McMahon there, and I can't keep the show straight.
Well, that's going to happen sooner or later with how things are going.
The rumor is that there's pressure from NBC, Universal, and Fox in order to have the bigger name stars on both shows, and that's the reason for this wild card role. Because Vince actually does want to keep the brand split intact.
Which is surprising, but I mean, if that's the case, okay, I can understand it to an extent. But at the same time, you would have thought that wouldn't each show not necessarily want to promote the other?
Well, given the fact that they're on different networks, you wouldn't think so. But given that it's all under the WWE umbrella, I'm assuming there's appreciation for corporate synergy on the WWE's part here.
True.
All right, so AJ Styles opens off the show here to kind of play off the way Roman opened up Monday Night Raw.
Mm-hmm.
AJ Styles is then interrupted by Sami Zayn, who apparently is okie dokie for being thrown in a dumpster and never seen again on Monday. Jesus, that was so stupid.
Mm-hmm.
The sad thing is it wasn't the worst part of Raw. Raw reaction, 11:30. Whenever Brandon and Cedric have time.
Normally it goes up around 7:30 Eastern time on Tuesday.
Anyway, they are both interrupted by Kofi Kingston, and even Stevie Wonder could see where this is going. A little bit of a back and forth between all three of them. Shane McMahon, after we come back from commercial, makes the match. It'll be a triple threat for the SmackDown heavyweight title, which I believe makes Kofi the first person to defend his title on Raw and SmackDown in the same week in like 6 years.
And the first, I believe, ever, because, I mean, technically on a tape version they have probably, but the first guy to ever defend his title on back-to-back nights live.
I feel like it's happened before, especially recently with when the brand split was dissolved.
But but they didn't have. But SmackDown wasn't on Tuesdays.
That's true. SmackDown would have been still back on Thursdays.
Thursdays, exactly.
It's a good point. Regardless, it does end up leading to the triple threat there, so that'll be our main event. We'll get to that in a little bit here. Kevin Owens isn't here because it's Kentucky. I don't blame him.
Nope. I've been to that arena. The arena's nice. The area itself is nice, but getting to our flight was a disaster.
Are they in the Yum Center?
Yes, they are.
Now I want some chicken. This is your fault. Anyway. All right. They make the announcement official that Kofi will defend the title against AJ and Sami Zayn a little bit later on in the show. Zelina Vega has words for us, followed by Andrade having words for us to set up our opening contest scheduled for one fall.
One fall.
As Andrade takes on Ali in the battle of people who have lost names and are in Money in the Bank.
Which this didn't really go to any falls anyway, so...
It went to a disqualification in 5 minutes and 10 seconds as Randy Orton ran in and caused yet another match to be thrown out due to his habitual need to RKO people. I will say I did like the bit with Mustafa. He's lost his Mustafa. I did like the bit with Mufasa Ali. The translation of that is super disappointing. I don't know if we've had that conversation before.
We have, but I forget exactly what it is.
Here comes the lion.
Oh yeah, you told me about that.
Ridiculous. Anyway, I did appreciate the fact that Ali stood up for himself and looked Orton dead in the eyes and said, "I'm not afraid of you."
Mm-hmm.
And then he got hit with a pop-up cutter and got laid out like a little biatch.
Yep.
Orton stands tall. I mean, I think we both agreed when we did our discussion of Money in the Bank last week here on the show that neither of us think Orton's winning Money in the Bank, but he's in there as a solid hand that can help keep a match like this together, especially with so many first-time participants.
Yes. He is the veteran presence in this match.
And I just thought of something I really want to see happen now.
Oh, God, what?
I really want to see McIntyre Claymore kick a ladder into Orton's face.
You know what I kind of want to see, and especially with how athletic one of them is and how good he is at hitting those, I want to see, like, Ricochet try to go for, like, a 630 or go for a swanton off of the top of a ladder just for Orton to catch him in midair and RKO him.
Well, you know what Ricochet's been using as an alternative finish to his 630 recently is the shooting star.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I meant. Not the Swanton, the shooting star press.
And I think everybody kind of remembers the shooting star KO.
Yeah. Like, could you imagine a shooting star KO off of the ladder?
Well, it was. I want to say it was off of the turnbuckle on Raw with Evan Bourne, but yeah,
it was.
I worry about the timing of a spot like that, just because I don't know how much planting you're going to be able to do doing that move off. I have no doubt that Ricochet's probably flippy enough to pull it off.
Mm-hmm.
But I worry about the timing of a spot like that coming off of a ladder, which is unpredictable as it is.
True. But, I mean, if anyone could pull it off, I think it's those two.
Regardless, it turns into a 2-on-1 attack on Orton after Andrade helps Ali, which is weird because they were just fighting each other. But, hey, continuity, whatever. In the end, Orton stands tall because Orton wins, lol? No? Okay. Whatever. And we head to a Roman Reigns video package. A very, very long Roman Reigns video package.
With lots of editing.
If you want to talk about the video package, go for it. I took a piss.
I mean, the only thing that I have to say about the video package, I understand why they did it and everything, but for anyone who's been watching the show longer than even 6 months, they know that 95% of that clip was edited heavily.
Well, yeah. It wasn't only until recently that Roman's been getting more baby face-ish pops from the crowd.
Yeah, no, I know that. That's what I'm saying. That anyone who has been watching longer than since he left knows that, the vast majority of that video clip, when it came to the reactions he was getting, were really the complete opposite.
Sweetened, I believe is the word you're looking for?
Yeah. That's putting it mildly.
It's one of those is what it is situations when it comes to that kind of stuff. It's their own narrative that they want to spin, and they're going to do it regardless of whether people know what happened or not.
But I've said that I said this ever since January or February, whenever he came back. They're going down the exact same path that they have, and if they don't stop and think, things are going to reverse course again. I'm honestly shocked. I mean, you're getting some of the negative reactions at Mania again already. But I'm honestly shocked that he's getting as good of reactions as he is still right now, especially with how they are basically making him into the focal point again, because of the declining ratings. The reactions are going to go back to the way they were, I would say by SummerSlam if things don't change.
There's an old phrase that applies here, and then we'll move on because we do have other stuff to get to. And as a Buffalo Bills fan, I can speak to this phrase more than most.
No one circles the wagons like WWE.
Those who do not learn from the past are doomed to repeat it.
Fair enough. I think mine works as well.
You hush yourself, Daniel Jones drafter.
What?
I said you hush yourself, Daniel Jones drafter. I can take solace in the fact that Buffalo's not the biggest joke organization in the state of New York these days.
Fair enough. I think both of the New York metropolitan area teams are bigger jokes than the Bills right now, because the Jets have Mr. Crybaby.
Well, I mean, yeah, but they also have Sam Darnold, so
true.
And Darnold actually played pretty well in his rookie season. I'll give him credit.
Fair enough.
We split with the Jets last year, so. We do play you guys later this year, though. That'll be fun.
Oh, God, that'll be fun.
We actually open the season with you guys.
I think you're right.
It's either week 1 or week 2, because I know we're playing inside of MetLife both weeks of the season for the year. Because we go to the Jets and then to the Giants, or to the Giants and then to the Jets. Either way, we don't leave the state of New York for like the first 3 weeks of the season.
Huh. Well, technically you do.
New Jersey, but neither here nor there. I knew where you were going to go with that. All right. Shane McMahon out to discuss the SmackDown Tag Team title situation, because apparently SmackDown has a tag team division. I was unaware of this, because far be it from me, I thought they sent all their good teams over to Monday Night Raw in the Superstar Shakeup.
I mean, they pretty much did, but now with the wild card rule, that's pretty much a moot point anyway, as we see.
Yeah, Shane attempts to crown Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan as the new tag team champions. It's Triple H in 2002 style, baby. However, the wild card rule takes umbrage in the form of the Usos. We'll talk about the match in a second, because we know this is going to a match here. And then the segment obviously leads to the tag team title match, Rowan and Bryan versus the Usos. We'll talk to that in a second. If I ever see anything as fucking stupid as Usi Hot again, I will turn off Raw out of principle.
There were so many moments during Raw that I wanted to turn it off. And it was so bad. I mean, it also didn't help that there was a match that I didn't care about to start off the show. But SmackDown, I was honestly flipping back and forth between that and the playoff games.
I watched SmackDown all the way through, just because SmackDown's usually the much more digestible of the two shows.
Mm-hmm.
The Braves played at 10 o'clock last night, on Monday night, excuse me. And every part of me wanted to turn away from Raw to watch the Braves game. I didn't, but every part of me wanted to. Our second contest on the show is scheduled for one fall.
One fall.
As Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan, making his return to television, since he's been off TV since Bryan got hurt at WrestleMania as well, take on the Usos for the vacant SmackDown Tag Team titles. The match goes 12 minutes and 45 seconds, about 10 of which was shown with the commercial break. Bryan and Rowan pick up the win when Jay gets caught with the Iron Claw cranial choke slam from Rowan for the pinfall. And Bryan and Rowan are your SmackDown Tag Team Champions. To answer your question that you asked in the group chat last night, Brandon, probably yes, because they talked about it in the backstage segment later on in the show. We're most likely getting Hemp Tag Team titles now.
That's going to be interesting to see. Hempwood Tag Team belts. I kind of want Bryan just to win all the belts now, just so we get Hempwood versions of all of them.
On a related note, when the Hardy Boys win back the SmackDown Tag Team titles, Jeff can smoke them.
Well, I wish, especially because of his old gimmick and the connotations surrounding Jamaicans, I wish they would have made a reference to that when Kofi won the title. But we never. The only reference we ever really got to that was AJ saying something when it was first created. And that was it.
I feel like they kind of moved Kofi away from the Jamaican thing, though. They don't really want to...
Oh, no, I agree with that, but, they could have at least, done a little throwback to that,
I will say, I think they missed an opportunity, and Kofi should have came out to SOS at WrestleMania.
Oh, definitely. Oh, I agree with that.
All told, what did you think of the SmackDown Tag Team title match?
I mean, the match was good. These four can definitely go. We'll see what happens with the tag titles moving forward. One thing real quick. For you saying that you never want to see anything like the Uzi Hot ever again, be forewarned. And Cedric and I talked about this at length on the Raw review. Be prepared to see more of that, because with
I know.
Dash and Dawson not
Revival.
signing.
Yeah,
They're
I
just
know.
gonna get crapped on for the next year. And it's it's more than a year. It's like a year and a half before their contracts are up. Yeah, so be prepared for that.
The only saving grace for that segment is it looked like Dawson and Dash were having fun with it.
I feel like they're basically pulling a Hogan at this point, where it's like, okay, you're gonna give me, or not a Hogan, a Michaels, where it's like, okay, you're gonna give me this crap. I'm gonna go as, balls Mahoney to the wall with it as possible.
Hold on, I'm being told that we're not allowed to say balls Mahoney. We cannot say balls Mahoney.
Got it in there.
That one's checked off the list for the week. We're getting there. We once again return to the Firefly Funhouse after the SmackDown Tag Team title match, as they've killed Rambling Rabbit 3 weeks in. What? No, not Rabbit!
Rest in peace, Stoner Rabbit.
Yeah, I don't really know what to say here.
I mean,
because I'm still not entirely sure what the hell we're watching with these segments.
Well, it's definitely playing into that whole concept of, like, and they even kind of show you with, like, a quick snap to the two gloves, of, like, yes, Wyatt's trying to be all happy and everything, but, there is a darkness to it. And the funniest was those kids just sitting there with blank faces on them.
Yeah, I think the big thing to discuss as far as the segment as well goes is I think they're teasing more and more that this is all a delusion inside of Bray's head.
You think so?
With the way that he responded to Ramblin' Rabbit being killed, to the fact that we can confirm that is Bray, the characters himself, Rambling Rabbit, Abby Witch, and Mercy the Buzzard.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're leaning more and more towards the fact that this is kind of a delusion inside of Bray's head, and it's going to lead to eventually him. The talk is he wants to bring Harper into the Firefly Funhouse.
Yeah, I heard that. Which I'd be cool with.
If it gets Harper on television, I'm all for it. But at the same time, I think we all know that if he's a leaving talent once his contract expires, whenever that's supposed to be, apparently he had the 6 months added to it, so it's probably going to be around September, November-ish or so.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't want to see them wanting to put Harper in a focal point on television.
But unless it's a situation now, obviously, Reigns and Rollins tried to do this with Dina and it didn't work. And I don't know the main reasoning for why Harper rather wants to leave. But, you could potentially have Bray being there trying to convince him to stay.
Shane McMahon back in the ring to discuss the Money in the Bank ladder matches. And whatever it is that he was going to say about those matches, he doesn't get to say as he is attacked by Miz. Interestingly enough, you know who makes the save for Shane?
The B Team.
Which is a nice little bit of continuity on SmackDown, actually, given the fact that they are the former Miz Taraj.
Mm-hmm. Well, they should have done a little bit more with that, where, like, they were kind of torn because of their past with Miz.
Yeah, but it went so downhill so quickly with Miz once Miz got moved over that it kind of made sense that they wouldn't want no part of this.
True.
Regardless, Miz fights off the B Team, and then Shane lays Miz out with a chair shot, much the same way that Miz did to Shane on Monday Night Raw, at least until Shane started no-selling and then kicked Miz in the bowl. Mahoney.
Got another one in there.
We did. All right. I'm curious to see what kind of spectacle the cage match is going to be, but I'm not expecting it to be a good match.
Neither am I.
Cage matches, by and large, suck.
Mm-hmm. Well, also, it's the fact that you can hardly see anything.
Well, not to mention you can barely do anything either. The ring is so constricted that
True.
you don't have the opportunity to work in a lot of the stuff that you might normally get to work in. I get that it used to be the big money blow off back in the old school days, but in this bloodless era of the PT era here, cage matches don't have the same effect.
Oh, agreed. The one interesting thing, and I doubt they'll do it because, WWE doesn't have any semblance of continuity or, thought. But the one idea I had with the whole cage match concept for this match is to play off of Miz maybe not necessarily being 100% face. We haven't seen it yet. We haven't seen him, with the exception of the chair shots, but that's just because, of his hatred for Shane. We haven't really seen him try to consider using some of his more nefarious tactics and his more cowardly tactics that he did as a heel. And this would be a good way of him, beating Shane down and kind of looking and being like, should I use this as the opportunity to escape or continue attacking Shane?
I don't think there's any question to me that Miz is picking up the win.
Definitely.
I wonder whether or not they're going to blow this off by an actual finish, or if they're going to have Miz escape, or if we're going to continue going forward after Money in the Bank.
I have a feeling, especially if Miz wins this match, that it's going to continue.
We get the segment backstage that we kind of briefly mentioned earlier with Bryan and Rowan talking about being the Planet's Tag Team Champions. And Bryan mentions that they need to fix the belts. I think we all know where that's going.
Mm-hmm. Which I'm looking forward to.
Our third contest of the evening is scheduled for one fall.
One fall.
And it's already over. 2 minutes and 25 seconds as Mandy and Sonya Deville, because apparently, according to Tom Phillips, they're married.
I heard that and it was funny.
I don't know that Sonya would mind.
No, she won't.
I think Tino Sabatelli might take issue with that statement, but I don't think Sonya would mind. Anyway, they face the team of Carmella and Ember Moon. Why Carmella and Ember Moon are friends now, I'm not entirely sure. In the end, Ember Moon is pinned with the implant buster by Mandy Rose. So you're telling me that they just had Mandy pin Ember Moon?
Yep. Are you willing to admit I'm right yet?
About what?
About the women and tag teams from NXT being absolutely buried on the main roster?
No, I'm not.
Fair enough.
Because if you think about it here, Rowan came from NXT. He's a tag team champion. Now, granted, he was a tag team partner with Harper down in NXT, and that didn't work out so well for Harper. But Rowan's doing okay.
Mm-hmm.
Which kind of makes me wonder what if Harper hadn't gotten hurt? Where would the Bludgeon Brother thing have gone?
I don't know. It's an interesting question.
It's just something to think about.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's continue here. Paige arrives after the match ends and announces that we're going to get Kairi Sane and Asuka versus Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville next week. Seems weird to give that away on free TV. Given the fact that you could have probably built that up as pay-per-view pre-show down the road after, especially if Kairi and Asuka take the tag from Billie Kay and Peyton Royce at Money in the Bank.
Well, but this is what I was thinking in regards to that. Have they officially announced that yet?
I believe it was announced last week on SmackDown that it was going to happen, yes.
Oh, okay, never mind. Because I was going to say, if it hasn't officially been announced, you could make this as like a de facto number one contenders match.
But with Mandy inside of the Money in the Bank ladder match, it's kind of a foregone conclusion that Asuka and Kairi are going to win.
I mean, it would be a foregone conclusion anyway, but,
and that Sonya's eating the pinfall or submission.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the pinfall from the Insane Elbow. All right.
Yeah.
Matt Hardy discusses the fact that Jeff has had successful surgery and then he'll be back and better than ever soon. Apparently, back and better than ever, Mike and Mike style. That's a reference like 4 people are going to get. I was there. R-Truth arrives to discuss the situation with Lars Sullivan. Lars Sullivan then arrives and beats both their asses, including powerbombing R-Truth through a table backstage. Thanks for coming, Truth. Appreciate you.
Still think this is leading to a match with Truth, or do you think like this is just going to be Lars's MO for a while until someone bigger steps up to him?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if we get Lars and Matt Hardy at Money in the Bank on the pre-show now, especially since Matt has nothing better to do with Jeff out hurt.
True. I could see that.
Aleister Black promo time. Aleister says more of what Aleister said recently. I like Aleister. I do. I like him as an in-ring performer. I have never been a huge fan of his promo work. I get that the dark and brooding character that Aleister is presenting is going to appeal to a portion of the audience. I'm just not necessarily sure that I'm part of that portion of the audience that character is going to appeal to. That being said, you put him inside of the squared circle, I'm interested in anything Aleister does.
But, I mean, I think that's kind of what they're going for is, and unfortunately I hate to say it because, you know, I like Aleister a lot too, both in the ring and out, but I feel like this is going to be one of those characters that, you know, yes, he's good in the ring, and yes, he may be somewhat successful, but I feel like this is going to be a lot like a Dean Ambrose type situation where his character needs that ability to get up to the line and even maybe cross it in order to be effective. And in today's WWE, in today's PG WWE, where they're 2 miles away from the line, it's just going to fall flat after a while.
So I just realized I screwed up.
Okay.
So we need to rewind just a touch here.
Okay.
The Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville versus Carmella and Ember Moon match.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Teddy Long special.
Tag match, player.
There you go. All right, let's move on. We forgot our tag match bit. I had to rewind and get it in.
Fair enough. We forgot to do it for the titles, too.
Wait, what now?
We forgot to say for the tag titles.
We did.
Fail?
I'm slipping today. My bad.
I mean, that's how little the tag divisions matter in WWE nowadays.
I completely forgot we had a tag match earlier.
Player?
And then you had 2 tag matches. Our main event, however, is a triple threat scheduled for one fall.
One fall.
As Kofi Kingston defends the SmackDown WWE World Heavyweight Championship against AJ Styles and Sami Zayn here. In the end, it comes down to Kofi and Sami Zayn after Styles gets taken out. Kevin Owens comes down and lays out Xavier Woods, leaving it 1-on-1 officially, where a series of Blue Thunder bombs by Sami get a trio of 2 counts. Way to kill that move off officially.
I mean, that's never... Well, I mean, he's switched back and forth, but I've always thought of that as more of his signature.
Well, yeah, because he goes for the haluva kick after the third Blue Thunder bomb, and as he's coming in for that haluva kick, Kofi catches Sami with Trouble in Paradise for the pin at 17 minutes and 5 seconds, about 11 of which was shown with the 2 commercial breaks.
Mm-hmm.
You lop off about 3 minutes for a commercial break.
Yep.
In the end, Kofi retains the title, Sami eats the fall, and AJ Styles still gets to look good despite having not won this match but not eaten the fall going into his Money in the Bank match against Seth Rollins for the Universal title. I like what they're doing with Kofi here. I like the fact that they're building up Kofi as a strong champion. I just wish they'd use people from his own brand to do it.
I agree with that. I I mean, there's certainly options that you could use. But to be fair, I will say, who could you really use outside of, I mean, one person that we've been talking about, but I actually want to see a full program between the two of them, is Orin. But who else outside of that are both available, and it wouldn't hurt them that badly to lose in these title matches, to where, people are worried about. The only person I could potentially think of, but WWE has never really used him in a title role, is Hardy.
Yeah, the problem that you have right now is a very strong a lack of depth for your upper mid card and main event talent on SmackDown right now, because all of the people that you're trying to push as your main event level SmackDown talent right now are either involved with the tag team title scene now with Bryan and Rowan to a lesser extent, or involved in Money in the Bank with Balor, Ali, Andrade, and Randy Orton.
Or you're trying to build them up through various means, and as a result, you wouldn't want them to eat a pin, like so Lars is on Raw, but no, I keep
Lars is on SmackDown.
No, okay, like Lars and like Aleister Black.
You know who I actually think would be a good feud for Kofi if he comes out of the Kevin Owens program with the title still?
Who?
Elias.
Yeah, but
why not? Elias has the backing of McManagement. It would make sense.
True, and that could be the reasoning for giving him a title shot after he inevitably eats the pin from Roman.
Dun-dun, 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 dun-dun. Thus officially bringing us to an end of the May 7th, 2019 edition of SmackDown Live. Scale of 1 to 10, Brandon, where do you fall?
I'll give it a 6.5. It was decent. The main event was good. I'm curious to see what happens to Sammy now. Obviously, he's more of a Raw guy, but that doesn't really matter anymore.
He gets murdered by Braun Strowman.
True. Oh, good point. But he put up a good effort in this match, so I kind of hope he goes more towards SmackDown.
That's the thing. The booking with Sammy's just so goddamn confusing.
Yeah.
Because you have him looking like an absolute joke against Strowman over on Monday Night Raw,
and then you have him have a good match.
He goes back to SmackDown, and he's mere milliseconds away from winning the SmackDown Heavyweight title.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's Vince McMahon booking for you. It's the land of the Giants. The Giants have to destroy the little guys. But, I mean, the tag title match was good. It'll be interesting to see where they go with Bryan and Rowan now. But besides that, the Firefly Funhouse we saw on Raw as well, so... I guess you could count it. It's good. It's probably the best thing that's going on in WWE right now. But outside of that, nothing too spectacular.
After the crap show that we had on Raw?
Yes, this was much better. I'll agree with you there.
I think that's going to affect my scoring to slightly higher. I'm giving SmackDown a 7.
Okay.
Because after the 3 hours of dreck that we had to sit through on Monday, this 2-hour episode of SmackDown just blew by.
True.
There wasn't anything actively that pissed me off. I was upset about the fact that Ember's eating pinfalls to Mandy Rose, but I get that you have to make Mandy look like a credible threat going into the women's Money in the Bank ladder match, so I guess to an extent I'm okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, I think that one of the things that SmackDown gets right that Raw doesn't on a consistent basis is they let them go out there and just wrestle.
Yeah.
They allow the performers to have the opportunity to tell their stories throughout the course of the ring time, rather than relying on a bunch of hokey backstage vignettes or a 20-minute opening segment in order to get us to where we need to go. You can get there just as easily in 10 minutes as you can in 20. And I was talking to Tony and Andrew about this when we were doing the Raw review on Monday night, and I said to them, "Yeah, the biggest problem for me is you go back, and I went back onto the WWE Network, and I watched an episode of Monday Night Raw from May 20, and Vince McMahon is still the evil owner. He's still in charge here. Undertaker has just returned the night before at Judgment Day, and Vince McMahon comes out, cuts a promo, sets the tone for the night, and is out of the ring in 8 minutes."
Mm-hmm.
The opening segment from Monday Night Raw.
Oh yeah, I was actually curious about this. How long until the first bell rang?
When Vince's music hit to start the show, to when the opening bell rang for the tag team match between Seth and AJ against Lashley and Baron Corbin.
Mm-hmm.
28 minutes.
Wow, that was I was thinking it was actually longer. I thought it was at least over. I thought it was over a half hour.
It just felt that way.
Yeah.
Whereas SmackDown, you get to the point in a very quick opening segment with regards to the AJ Styles showing up, being interrupted by Sammy, being interrupted by Kofi. They get that done in like 10 minutes, and it sets up the plan for the main event for the night.
I mean, also, well, here's the thing. It seems like they book Raw and SmackDown in very similar ways and feel like they have to only use a certain amount of guys in a certain amount of matches on both shows, in spite of the fact that you have an extra hour on Raw.
It's so much easier for SmackDown to be able to put these things together cohesively than it is for Raw.
Now, does that 28 count? Does that 28 include the break that we got?
Yeah, that's coming back from the commercial right before the match.
And the commercial between when the Reigns and Kofi and Bryan were in the ring, and then when Styles was in the ring?
Yes.
Okay.
The first bit before we went to the first commercial was at like the 15-minute mark.
Oh, okay.
And then
that felt like it was a lot longer.
Then the tag team match started at about 28 minutes in. All right, let's go ahead and put a wrap on this here because it's, as you can see, it's 2:40. I got to get going. So, one word review, Brandon. What do you got?
Better than Raw. Just that's all you need to know.
Can I hyphenate?
Sure.
Palate cleansing.
There you go.
Which is basically the same thing you said, just a fancier way of saying it.
Yep.
I believe Big E has been quoted as saying SmackDown is the mouthwash for the bowl of crap that is Raw.
Oh, God. And then NXT just, saves you from it all the next night.
We love you, NXT. Don't ever change.
Yes.
We love you, NXT. Oh, yes, we do. We love you, NXT. Oh, yes, it's true. All right, I'm done. Where can people find you elsewhere, Brandon?
They can find me here for the Raw review, and then once we do the next kickoff show, and on Twitter at Bisco_GothamSN, and on Facebook.
And eventually, maybe, possibly.
Yes.
There's a How the World Was One thing that was talked about that's not really gotten off of the ground. And it's going to be football season again in like 2 months, Brandon. Just keep that in mind.
Yes, I know.
All right. You can find me here for the SmackDown Live review. You can find me over on the Chairshot Radio Network for the Raw reaction. In addition, over on the Chairshot, where I do reviews for Progress Wrestling and Impact Wrestling. A couple more independent companies coming soon. I will also be reviewing All In for the Chairshot just ahead of Double or Nothing as well. So that'll be over on thechairshot.com. But if you're interested in anything else in the world of sports, entertainment, video games, music, and more, you can check out W2Mnet.com, the official online home of the Wrestling to the Max podcast. I think that officially wraps us up, Brandon.
Yep.
All right. So for Brandon Biskobing, I'm Harry Broadhurst. You have been listening to the Wrestling to the Max SmackDown Live review for May 7th, 2019, here on the W2M Network, online at W2M Net. And in addition, you can find us on all of your favorite podcast listening devices: iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Spreaker, Podbean.
Spotify is here.
And Barcelona can suck it! Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll talk to you guys next Wednesday, Tuesday, depends on when we feel like it, for the SmackDown Live review here on the W2M Network.